Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so without further ado, let's just hit it off with no fluff. So Sam, if you don't know Sam, Sam is a YouTuber, and we're good friends. We went through the Nicola mayhem together,
Yeah, we
came out
did.
on top, and basically Nicola tried to take our channels. And Sam does really high quality content around social media and mainstream media, and a lot of EV content and a lot of marketing content, financial content. Very diverse, holistic channel with a lot of good content. And I'm a huge fan. And sometimes we do similar stuff, but mainly I'm on the financial side and he's more on the media side.
Yep.
However, since we both in the kind of in the finance realm and the stock market realm, especially we both cover a lot of public companies, I want you to share with us kind of the executive summary of a recent video you just made, because I want my viewers to kind of learn more about it.
Yeah, okay. So basically the idea or what happened to me and why I'm personally involved is I had a company reach out to me, and I'm going to keep the names out of it, but they reached out to me and they said, "Hey, we are an investor relations firm and we want to pay you to set you up with a company, and then you would put out overwhelmingly positive videos about some small market cap company." And so they'd give me a single time payment for putting out this really positive piece. And the idea, or at least allegedly, what I think the idea is to pump up that stock price artificially by getting content creators like you and me to say positive things. And it had specifically in there that you're not allowed to say anything negative, and they gave talking points, but then they wanted to make sure it was going to be as organic as possible. So they said, make it sound like you, but these are the things you need to talk about. And you see it happen with a lot of YouTubers that are doing this sort of sponsored content, and we'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, that's the high level from 30,000 feet. That's what's going on.
You know, when we were talking offline, I told you like I feel like the ugly girl in school. I didn't get the invite to the prom, so they never asked
Yeah,
me. They It seems like they ask everybody but me. I never got that email.
I
Probably
know. I can't
got
believe they
lost in the
didn't.
mail, bro. I feel
Yeah.
so unpopular. Um, but hey, did they name a specific amount, or did they specifically told you this needs to be overwhelmingly positive? How did it work as far as the email?
Yeah, they named a specific amount that they were going to pay me, and there's thousands of dollars for single videos, and then it'd be
That's
a
a lot of
reoccurring.
money.
Yeah, especially for a small YouTuber like me. My channel has about 10,000 subscribers. And so that's a significant amount of money, especially when you're talking about against like AdSense, which is nowhere near that per video. And then what they did was they sent me a list of bullet points, and they said, "Hey, you need to knock out this, this, and this. Like, talk about the company and say it's good because it has, these 5 reasons, but make it sound like it's you saying these things, not like somebody told you to say these things." And so I would liken it. I've been thinking about what like ways to tell people about or use a metaphor. And so I was thinking it's basically like one side is paying the ref, and then the ref can only call things one way, because remember, you're not allowed to say anything negative about these companies in this stock review. It's only positive.
Or you don't
So
get
it's like,
paid if you
yeah,
say
or exactly, or you don't get paid. And they even had it where I would have to submit the video to them, and then they would, review it and make sure it followed their guidelines before I'd publish it. So it's a whole lot of hand holding, but it's disguised as if it's not hand holding, if that makes sense.
yeah, it makes perfect sense. And I think you mentioned that we're not going to name any names, but we know
Right.
of specific companies and of specific channels that actually allegedly basically perform these paid reviews. So that's
Yeah.
not in question. We're not going to say anybody here. We're not about to embarrass people on air. But I mean,
Right.
it's confirmed that it's been done, or at least
Yeah.
it seems like it's been done based on circumstantial evidence that yeah we have.
Yeah. And what I would do if I was, somebody watching this is, if you see someone that's saying this penny stock, and it's penny stock specifically because their market cap is so small, they can eat, it doesn't take very many investors to fluctuate the stock price. And so what I would look out for is if it's anyone saying this penny stock is about to 10x, or something along those
A
lines.
thousand
Look,
X.
yeah,
I've
1000x.
seen a
And
thousand X already on YouTube.
I take that. But no, look for that and see if they mention sponsorship anywhere in the video. If they say, hey, this video is sponsored, then you know this company is paying them to say these positive things. And if they don't mention a sponsorship, just ask them if they're sponsored. Because if you are being paid by a company, legally you have to disclose that you're being paid by that company.
I think with penny stocks in general, a good idea would be to stay away unless like you have a very specific goal in mind and you're aware of the fact that this may go to zero. Now,
Yeah,
I mentioned to you earlier on my channel, I only covered two penny stocks in my entire career, which was BNGO and Check. Both I'm intimately familiar with the technology, and I accept that they may go to zero. It's a completely binary result.
right.
So maybe penny stocks in general, even though it seems enticing, it seems, people, we have, I call it revenue porn. People
Yeah,
posting these
that's exactly what it is.
obnoxiously high numbers, like, percentages and whatnot. So it seems like this. I would say don't give in to FOMO and go play with penny stocks, because as fast as you may make money, the fall is as fast, and there's no way to stop it once it happens. So, but
Yeah,
let's stay on point, because this is not the point of the video. So the point is, I think, is that if you're a viewer of a YouTube channel that does any sort of stock reviews, whether it's penny stocks or not, including myself, including any channel, ask the YouTuber you're watching, hey, we haven't seen in your description, we haven't, tell us please if this is sponsored or not. That's
yep,
it needs There needs to be from now on two disclosures in any video that goes up that has a stock review. The description needs to clearly put out if this is sponsored or not, and if the person has a position in the company, long or short or not, or options and whatnot. So because for example, I'd never thought about it. So in my videos, I only disclaim if I have a position or not in the company. I never even thought about putting a disclaimer, well, this is not sponsored, because it's obviously not sponsored.
right,
But I
right.
think from now on, because what we know, we have to have YouTubers clearly specify in the description that if the video is sponsored or not. And if you don't see a disclaimer like that, then you have to ask for it. And if they don't comply, just, I would say, stop watching their videos and taking, them as a serious, credible source.
Yeah,
But the question is, um, and I think that beyond the fact that this is highly obnoxious and disgusting, I think it's actually illegal. Even if you
yeah.
disclose, I don't think it's legal to
Mm.
promote public companies um, through payment, even if you disclose that you're getting paid to do it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. So why do you think it's illegal?
Because it's not,
I
unless
think
you
it's
specifically say it's an advertisement, unless
mm,
it's an ad and you say, hey, well, this is an advertisement. I don't think you can do like you say, hey, this is a paid review of a public company and this may affect the price and hurt a lot of people, or there's like a lot of implications here. I don't know if they can do it legally.
yeah,
I'm not sure if it's legal. I think it may not even be legal to do this shit. So the question for you, Sam, is, now that we know this, is beyond the fact that this is out. We're putting it out there to warn people and say, hey, um, we know that there's this overwhelming saturation of these penny stocks. This $5 stock is going to go to 5 million, or this $5 stock is going to 1,000x. So there's this massive saturation of these, like, FOMO driving, like, buy now, this is going to go crazy, like all this, like, race to the bottom with the thumbnails and titles. Just be careful when you see this shit.
yep,
It usually means it's probably not a good investment, in my opinion.
yeah,
Now, I don't subscribe to these type of titles and thumbnails. At least I try not to. But I mean, just in general, stay away. But the question is, do we as a community allow these people to stay on and put out stock reviews? I mean, we know who they are. We're not going to say it, but we know exactly who they are. Are they allowed to keep putting out videos and not getting called out? Should we call
yeah.
them out? I mean, not in this video, but I mean, is this something that if they don't come forward, we call them out?
Yeah. Well, what I've been advising my viewers to do is if you see content creators that you think they're taking some sort of a sponsorship and they're not disclosing it, obviously go ask them. And I think, I don't know, I don't know what recourse you can have if you ask them and they deny, they say, no, I'm not being sponsored. but it seems like they're putting out sponsored content. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do. And you could report them to the SEC, but I don't know how effective that would be. So I'm not sure.
Listen, I think that's where we have to draw the line because none of us are investigators. We can't, I mean, if somebody chooses to blatantly lie about shit
Yeah.
and just, and just give us false representations, there's nothing really we can do about it. Let's be honest. I mean, there's
Yeah.
really nothing you can do about it. You're not an investigator, you're not a cop, there's nothing. However, at the very least, we can ask people to represent what's going on. And if they choose to lie and deceive, it's their choice. I mean, because even that is not being done today. We don't ask our YouTubers to basically disclose if they're getting paid or not. Now, the reason I haven't thought about it until this time because I didn't even conceive that this would be possible. I mean, who would do such
Yeah.
a?
Yeah.
It's such a bad move for the community. It's so destructive. I mean, that
No, I
means
know.
it discounts the whole purpose of what we're doing here because it discounts the important, like the value or the validity of my opinion. Because, well, they're gonna. I mean, people say, well, these YouTubers, they're doing paid reviews, and then all of a sudden the whole community suffers because of these idiots.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a short-sighted trade-off to get paid like that. Jesus.
Yeah. But I think, I mean, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this is once I got that email from that company and then I talked to them, I started doing research. And then after your eyes are open that, oh, this is something that could be happening. These YouTubers could be artificially supporting stocks that just because they're being paid for it. Once your eyes are open to that, you're going to start to see 10, 20, 100. I mean, I immediately saw channels that were doing that. And it's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be blatantly obvious when someone is pumping a stock. It'll be blatantly obvious. So just go and, watch your favorite YouTubers and then see and call them out. Just call them out. I think that's what we have to do.
Is there any difference between, in your opinion, between people who do this as a paid sponsorship and people who intentionally hype up stocks which they know is shit for clicks and views? Is that as bad, or do they get to be considered less shit?
I I mean, I would say just hyping it up for clicks and views is less bad, but it's kind of like it's which is worse. Well, they're both bad. We shouldn't do either of them. But
Okay,
I
let
would
me make
say,
it more difficult for you.
okay,
If it's a penny stock and they're hyping it up
yeah,
and they're actually profiting from it, as far as they're trading the stock, they're front running their audience, and then they're selling before, and then pumping dumping basically.
sure, yeah,
That can happen a lot with penny stocks, and with all these penny stock channels. I'm not saying specifically somebody is doing it, but I mean, if potentially you could make a lot of money by pumping and dumping penny stocks with these,
yep.
with these videos.
Well, yeah, and that idea is if you have an audience large enough and they trust you enough or follow your advice, you could buy and then recommend any penny stock, and just because of your recommendation, the stock price will go up, and you could just keep doing that and make money indefinitely. So maybe there isn't too much of a difference actually from being paid by the company to do that or just doing it on your own. I think it's a
I mean,
similar
we're
act.
all trying to get clicks. We're all trying to be a little bit
Yeah,
dramatic in our thumbnails and
of
and
course.
create like an enticing title, enticing thumbnail. But I mean, it's I don't think it should be done because you never know if somebody's just doing it for clicks and it stops at that, or they're actually doing this and actually double dipping into the pump and dump and actually benefiting from the back end as well, because you can't know and you can't tell. I think once, at least I got to a point, once I see these outrageous claims,
Hmm.
I just don't click at all. I just say,
Yep.
okay, I don't want to support that because this is becoming this. Dude, some guy commented on my video and I was trying to, I was really battling against myself. Should I put in the title that this stock is going to do 30%? And I was going crazy. And eventually I posted it, this guy. And I was like so mad at myself. Like, you hyping up a stock like 30%. That's a outlandish claim. You better fucking, deliver. Some guy commented on my video. It's like 30%. That's nothing. Like 30%. I do this in a day. Your
Yeah.
videos are trash.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
No,
Is
I
this
think that's
what's going on right now?
I think that's a real problem right now is you have so many new retail investors who are getting Robinhood and getting Webull and whatever, and they're just now entering the stock market and they're not really sure what to do. So they're looking for guidance. And these people are, because their experience is so uh, short-sighted, they're looking for these really quick returns. And that's why I think you're seeing all these penny stock things, these penny stock pump videos be so successful and get so many views, is because investors are looking for it. These inexperienced
Easy,
investors are
easy,
looking for it.
easy, easy. It's easy.
Yeah, but the thing that hurts is that the people who are going to be damaged by this action are the inexperienced investors. So you're really, if you are a YouTuber doing this, you're hurting your viewership by doing it.
Think about it this way. Um, if you and Warren Buffett coined this phrase, not me. Warren Buffett said, if you're buying a stock just for the sole reason that you think the price is going to go up, that usually means it's not a good stock to purchase for you, or it's not going to be a good deal for you. I encourage people to look at the financials. It's not that complicated. Look at the revenue the company is generating. Look at how much growth they had in the past few years. Look at how much assets they have, how much liabilities, how much cash. You can easily calculate the burn rate of a company by looking at two financials to see how much money they're burning in a quarter. You can learn a lot about a company from their financials. In fact, you can do what I do and not even watch my videos. And I'm going to say it right now. If you just read the financials, it's that simple. I would encourage you to stay with the fundamentals, even though it feels like the market is becoming irrational and people just say, well, the hell with fundamentals. Don't join that trend. You may lose a lot of money in the short term, but if the market ever pulls back, which it probably will at some point, if you're trading fundamentally correct and you're going long term, you're not going to suffer as much. So I'd rather lose. You're going to pay at some point. You're either going to pay today or you're going to pay when it crashes.
Yeah.
So might as well put a little bit today, buy your insurance, and ride out the storm when it happens. But again, this is just my opinion. I can do the whole disclaimer.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, blah blah blah. Listen, Sam, thank you so much for stopping by. This was just like a quick, PSA, to let everybody know what's going on. I'm going to link your original video, which I urge people to watch in full, in the description of this video. I suggest you go to Sam's channel. If you like my channel, you're probably going to like Sam's content. So might as well subscribe and hit the bell. Watch the video. It's really, really important. Share it with everybody you know that might be susceptible to these things. And hopefully we can, mend the community and get things back in order, because I'm not happy with the way things are going right now at all.
Yep. Yep. Really well said. Good talking to you, Tom.
Yeah. Later, bro. All the best.
Later.
And make sure you subscribe to Sam.